You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the March 1st, 2023 meeting of the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Michigan City Park Board meeting for March 1st, 2023. If you could please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Shannon, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Latchford?
Here.
Mr. Freeze?
Here.
Mr. Glidden?
Here.
Mrs. Skurling?
Here.
All right, the minutes of our previous meeting of February 15th were prepared in advance and presented. So unless there are any corrections or additions or edits, do we have a motion to approve?
I would move to accept the minutes as printed.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Any project updates or old business?
Quick update on the old bandstand preservation project. At your last meeting, we received bids. However, we didn't receive any bids. So I have talked to the grantor and also our architect, who has suggested we do a negotiated contract. So that will be coming before the board at your next meeting for.
Thank you, Shannon. What is a negotiated contract?
The negotiated contract is, so we had 3 bidders that we asked to put in a competitive bid that we're going to judge on price and the time it takes to complete the work. None of them were interested for many reasons, but they all have heavy workloads. This project is too small and they're having trouble getting good quotes from their subcontractors for materials. So they're not comfortable guessing on what they think it's going to be. And it's just not a big enough project for them to be competitive. So at this point, we would choose as the owners, one of the contractors that attended the pre-bid meeting, and then simply negotiate out terms of contract, price, a couple of things that gives them. If they have a heavy schedule, they can push this off towards the end of the building season because it's small, so that gives them an advantage. And it also allows them to put in some wiggle room for material prices instead of guessing. So it's probably going to cost a little bit more, but we will get the work done. And again, there's no tax dollars involved. This is completely grant funded. So I think it's our only avenue. I did ask the architect, what about rebidding? He said he's had 8 projects in the last 6 months that came in with no bids. And they had to go negotiate it on all of them. So again, Lake Michigan Coastal is fine with it. We did it the correct way. I do need board approval. Laura's already reviewed and approved it, so that will be on your next agenda.
One other question. So that option is available to us because we didn't receive any bids.
Correct.
All right, thank you. Any other questions for Shannon?
I'm wondering if this no one ever bids on it, what happens to the grant money?
If we kept putting it out to rebid, the grant money's on a timeline. So it expires June 30th of 2020. So if you don't spend it out, it goes back to Lake Michigan Coastal and they'll work to
Got it.
the project.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Shannon. Any old business?
No, sir.
All right, we have tabled business from our meeting on the February 15th. So we need a motion to untable the 2023 spring adult softball.
I would move that we take the 2023 spring softball entry pack off the table.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Shin, you want to address the
Sure. Last meeting, I proposed to you a fee packet that would not change from last year. And the board asked if there was any reason that I wanted to keep the fee the same as last year. And I said I would have an answer at this meeting. And as it turns out, we upped the price and we increased the price for teams to play softball last year. And I would like to keep the fee the same this year since we changed it last year.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. I believe we also questioned the feasibility of these programs being self-sustaining. And Mr. Shin and Mr. Karpinski and Mr. Freeze and I got together over the phone and reviewed the historical financials. And we've never really been self-sustaining. I'll just quickly share with you the fall softball from 2018. We operated that season at a $7,600 loss. In 2019, a $10,400 loss. 2020, $9,900 loss, and then 2021, $4,700 loss, and 2022, $8,200 loss. So we subsidized that program. And same thing for spring softball. We subsidized, but not nearly to that degree, about $1,000 a month, except for last year when it was $4,000 a month a year for those programs. So I believe maybe sustaining those programs, or sustaining is the poor word, but subsidizing those programs is a good thing. Our goal is to provide recreational opportunities to citizens of Michigan City. We are conscious of our expenses. And as long as we are conscious of the expenses and try to do the best job keeping those down, I think we should just continue with our current pricing, in addition to what Mr. Shin mentioned, that we have to remain competitive with our local LaPorte and other teams. If we raised our price enough to cover the expense, we probably would have we wouldn't have any teams. So I guess before us now is if there are any questions or comments on any of that, and if not, we'll need a motion to approve this.
Number one on the third paragraph, Carrie had said something about deleting that paragraph altogether. Is that would be taken out?
We can do that.
Okay.
That paragraph is regarding, I think we talked about a few of them.
Yeah. And the National Softball Association, have we had any thought about providing a rule book for each team or put it online or something? I mean, it's kind of hard to follow the rules if you don't know what they are.
Right. We can get those rules from Mr. Kimmel. He has supplied the rules for youth baseball, and I'll make sure that he supplies the rules for softball.
Sure. And then we talked about signage on the fields. Are we going to move forward with that as a form of a fundraiser to add additional signage?
Correct. If we have more sponsors than teams, I will steer them towards possibly putting a sign up in the outfield.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Phil. Any other questions?
No questions. I just wanted to comment to back up what you were saying. You read the numbers there where we ran a deficit with some of these programs, but I just want to reiterate that this is not a Fortune 500 company. And sometimes the city, the park department, has to do things or to provide recreational opportunities for the community. There are going to be times when we run a deficit at certain things here. But these are what I see as big investments in our community with these programs. So I support this. And there are some things that you have to subsidize as a city in order to provide certain services for the public. And I just wanted to back up what Phil said there. I've heard him say this before because this is the way it's always been with the park department. And I continue to support because these are what I see as investments in our youth and people in this community to have recreational opportunities to take place. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other questions or comments from the board? Questions from the public? Seeing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
I would move that we accept the spring softball entry packet with the corrections that were discussed.
Give a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, moving on to new business. The first item is the Park Department 2022 annual reports.
Yes, thank you. The first draft of the annual report was included in your packets. I have received a lot of edits from staff and park board members, so I would ask that you table this to your next meeting and have all final edits to me by noon on March 8th. So I have time to incorporate those and then present them to you at your March 15th meeting.
Thank you, Shannon. Any other questions about the report from the board?
I have some.
Sure.
Are we gonna discuss that now? Or we're gonna table it?
Now's a great time.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good. And we can take turns because I did this Sunday, so there's a couple I forgot what I was going to ask, but for the concessions at the zoo, Peacock Cafe, page 10. This last year in 2022, there was a loss, 5% loss. Let's see. It looks like it's run at a loss half the time, at least half the time. So is this like normal, or is this, I mean, concessions, is there a reason why there's a loss in concessions?
The main reason for the loss is staffing and the loss of visitors that we had due to the cat exhibit expansion project. So our visitors are down 15,000 over the prior year. We had a lot of lost waste. We had a freezer go down. We lost around $7,000.
Wow.
So what we're looking at now is revising our spring and fall menus to more grab and go,
Yeah.
and possibly even just keeping our concession stand closed during the slow months,
Mhm.
selling grab and go out of the coop.
Mhm.
The coop is a little stand up by the Red Barn that sells
Mhm.
water, candy bars, or feed cones for the animals.
Yeah.
Sean also attended their retail manager 2 trade shows,
Mhm.
and she explored other concession options that don't take 2 people, one in the back cooking and eating.
Mhm.
So she's looking at that. So there's a variety of things. We do realize that we do not operate at a loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Staffing was huge, though. You'll see in the annual report, I think it's towards the end by the financial report, the wage increases that we had
Yes. Mhm. Mhm.
were large.
For the whole zoo, right? Or are you talking just the concession stand?
Big.
Yeah.
Like our
Right.
seasonal wages, the average rate was 47%.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So we're having to adjust a lot of things later.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. But however, the gift shop did a tremendous job. Do they sell any food in there? They have candy, right?
They do, they have very limited, they have like a
Yeah.
powder candy machine.
Yeah.
But that was another option to move some of the grab and go in there.
Right.
The reason the gift shop does a little bit better on the labor side is they can share a cashier during slow times
Yeah.
with the
Right.
admission window.
Right.
So concession is separate from the zoo budget,
Yeah.
but they end up,
Mhm.
slow, so they don't call someone in to run that register.
Right.
They're taking.
No, it's understandable. Can they do more product in the gift shop? Grab and go things like
It'd be
refrigeration,
difficult
like
because
fruit.
There's like literally no.
Yeah,
room
it's packed.
left in
Yeah.
that gift shop.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
really outgrown the space.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
So Sean's idea is to add some grab and go, but it'd be very limited.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
I'd just like to say a good job to Shauna. She's done a tremendous job of going to these expos and getting things at a considerable less cost. And that's why the blue line's so much higher than the red line. She's done a great job.
And is there a more detailed report for the concession stand? As far as, cost of goods, labor, all of that. Was that in the back of this separately
There's a profit and loss statement in here.
for just the Peacock?
Summary for just the Peacock, yeah.
I missed that. It was hard to, because all the revenue was in the front of the report and all the expenses are in the back. And it had to keep going back and forth to,
Yeah,
So the total financial report is in the back.
yeah.
If you look through the report, you'll see like profit and loss or the do financial summary snapshot results. Those are all just extracted out of the financial report in the back.
Yeah.
Because there's so many other line items in the
Mhm.
concession budget not related to the actual concession
Yeah.
stand. So So on page 8, actually, it might not be on 8, it's the revised version.
Mhm.
Under concession operations, there's Treehouse and then there's Washington Park do concessions.
What, oh,
Now, that's just the revenue expense
yeah,
and net profit or loss.
right, yeah,
Want a more detailed
yeah,
statement similar to the zoo or the golf course? we can
yeah,
work
yeah,
that.
okay, okay. On page 18, and I know we've talked about this, but with the parking operation, I know the revenue was down because of labor, right? Partly that, partly the increase in the cost to go to the park, right? The daily fee.
Well, the daily fee had been the same for 2 years. It was totally related to labor.
Yeah,
All of our staff went back to school, so
Mhm.
August 6th was their last work day,
yeah.
which historically has never happened.
Hmm.
So we're addressing that in a few ways. Actually, I talked to Councilman Deb right before the meeting. He brought up the same one. I have reached out to some retired people I know
Hmm.
that may be interested in very short-term
Mhm.
weekends in August,
Hmm.
Labor Day weekend. I'm working with the counselors at New Buffalo High School. They recruit teachers and students because they don't go back to school until
Oh, yeah.
August 12th.
I thought they go back actually after Labor Day. Doesn't Michigan?
Or not August 12th, September.
Right,
12th.
right.
So I'm trying to get, 6 or 8 staff members this year that absolutely know
Yeah,
can carry us through this weekend.
yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely looking at that.
And then anything of the automated parking, are we still considering that? Or is that,
We are considering it. There's a lot of options. We have a steering committee. We've spoken to the mayor about it. It's a very costly venture.
Mhm.
We still have
Right.
not come up with a system that addresses everything in our park.
yeah,
I'd be glad to share
Right.
that report with you, but
Sure. yeah,
right now it's just difficult. Do we go gated? Do we go kiosk? Do we go mobile? And all of them have some pitfalls that we just
Right.
can't find a workaround at this
Mhm.
point. But yeah, that's still.
yeah, okay. Also, I say more trivia nights at the senior center.
Did we go?
No, but I saw it on the list here. I didn't know that. So that's, probably good, is a good fundraiser too.
It is.
Right, yeah, yeah, and people love trivia.
Usually a full house.
Yeah, they used to have it at McGinnis Pub and then they closed, and so it could be a good opportunity. The golf course I looked at for quite a while. That, the South Course green fees were down quite a bit, 18% in 2019 compared to 2018. So I was, and the total for South and North was down 11%. Of course, 2020 was high because of 2020. 2021 was fantastic. And then, back down again in 2022. So I don't know if there's any.
I can answer that.
Okay.
In 2022, it went down because the early in the season weather was
Yeah,
poor.
was it?
and
Okay.
Late in the season weather.
Okay. Anyone can jump in if they want to cut me.
Any other questions on the report?
I will go back to one thing with the zoo, with the increase in the fee to get in the zoo. I know I talked about not increasing the fee for the Michigan City residents. And in this report, there's a great pie graph that shows, where we draw everybody from, and all the way from, our Michigan City, the county, the Michigan, Illinois, other states, other countries. This is awesome. And it came down to Michigan City was 4.5% of the total amount of people that came there and went to the zoo. And so I still feel strongly about that fee, that it should not have gone up $2 per child and $2 per adult for Michigan City residents. And I know we've already talked about that, but I didn't know if that could be revisited at some point, and just especially considering the recession and everything that's going on, I think that Michigan City should have a benefit, and it's a very small percentage of people that make up the full group that's heading there. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that again.
Any other questions from the report? Don't get a chance to discuss it tonight. There's always an opportunity. Just email Shannon before March 8th. Is that what we said? March 8th?
Yeah, by noon at March 8th, your agenda post.
The what does?
Yeah,
The agenda for the 15th. So I need all information that's going on the meeting agenda for March 15th by noon in March.
Okay. Thank you.
I think when the report becomes available, if you're at all interested in the park department, you'll find it very interesting because it has a great synopsis of what happened during the year, all the revenue, attendance, as well as activities at the senior center and how many gallons of water were pumped at the golf course. It's quite interesting if you're into that sort of stuff. Any other questions or comments on the report? If not, then a motion to table.
I would move we table the annual 2022 report until the final edits are included.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, now we have the walk to end Alzheimer's 2023 event request.
Yes, this is a successful return event. They're asking to host their event on Saturday, October 7th. Just to remind the board, this is out of our normal season, so there's not a lot going on in Washington Park, and it benefits them not to have to pay parking fees. Heather's here tonight. I believe this is their 11th year. Is that correct? Yeah. So again, return event. They're great to work with. We've never had any issues, and I would recommend that the board approve their 11th year.
Thank you, Shannon. Questions or comments from the board?
Just a comment that in 11 years, when they leave, the park gets cleaner than when they got there. They do a great job of not only policing themselves, but other people who are not quite as disciplined. So,
Thank you, Phil. Any other questions or comments from the board? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the Walk to End Alzheimer's 2023 event request on Sunday, October 7th?
so moved. Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, now we have the Pride Fest 2023 event request.
Thank you. This is another return event. It started in 2018 at the You Are Beautiful lot next door. So this is their 6th annual. It was canceled in 2021 due to a pandemic, but since 2019, it's been held at the Guy Foreman Amphitheater. Again, a great return event. Well attended, they're easy to work with. So again, I would recommend approval of this one as well.
Thank you, Shannon. Questions or comments from the board?
I do.
Sure.
I noticed that this time in the description, it shows that there's musical entertainment, a fashion show, food, beverage, etc. The fashion show is something different. Is that different than last year?
Anyone here from Pride Fest?
Yeah.
Good evening and welcome.
Hi.
Please state your name for the record,
Address to
please.
Julie Geyer, 2214 Maple Street.
Sue Harrison, 323 Garrettson Ave.
Hello.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know where it says fashion show.
Oh,
Yes, worked with Eric Williams.
Yeah, I'm fine with
It
that.
might actually be a drag show,
Okay.
which is what we've had every year. So yeah, it's no different.
Yeah, we're not, and nothing is changing from
No.
what we've done before.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
okay. And I know I asked the same question last year. It's a family-friendly event, so there will be children there.
Definitely.
Okay. I just want to state my opinion that I don't think that children should be viewing a drag show. And I just want to express that. So I have friends that go to the shows and I know they're a great time. And I just don't think children should be present. And I just hope that maybe, you would consider making it an 18 and over show, whether this time or next time. And I just.
It is the last thing of the day. So it is later in the day. I will tell you from all the years that we've done this, we've had more parents thank us than we've ever had anybody say, I really wish I wouldn't have come here. We've had people come from all over the area, not only Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin.
And they look forward to it, and they do bring their children. I mean, it's nice to look out and see parents with their children sitting on their blankets and just having a good time, and people are laughing. And I mean, this is a great event that we have, the entire one, not just the drag show, the entire thing. It's super family friendly.
I've heard great things about it. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Any questions from the public? Comments from the public? They come out. Please, yeah, they record it. So if you speak from there, no one will be able to hear you on the recording. Welcome.
Hello. My name is Aaron O'Reilly. I reside at 307 Wilshire Avenue, and I own Fiddlehead Restaurant at 422 Franklin Street. I knew that I wanted to speak this evening as a business owner in Michigan City, as a resident, and as a proud member of the LGBTQ community. I began writing something to speak, providing a lot of facts and statistics about how life-saving events like this can be for members of the LGBTQ community, and in fact, children as well. But a friend pointed out that we're more than just statistics in Michigan City, national statistics. Just to make you aware, I mean, LGBT youth are 4 times as likely to commit suicide than their peers. 45% of LGBTQ youth consider suicide on an annual basis, which is about 20% higher than their peers who are not of the LGBTQ community. But as I discussed these statistics, my friend pointed out to me that we're about more than that. Michigan City has a community of stories and people that don't want the future generation to go through the indignities that we have. I came to Michigan City, and it was the best decision probably of my life to start a business here. I found friendship and community that I didn't realize I was missing. During the pandemic, when I couldn't see a path out of the darkness for both personally and my business, my friends got together and started Drag Side Pickup during COVID, which not only saved my business at the time, but also I think brought light to our community of how wonderful Michigan City is, how accepting Michigan City is. People came from everywhere. They came from out of state, Indianapolis, Chicago, just to come and see a smile through a mask of family-friendly drag performers giving out food to each car. That is pride. It was as if the world was now finding out how amazing Michigan City was, something that I already knew. But for many members of the LGBTQ community in Michigan City, specifically the youth in Michigan City, there's still a lot of challenges and obstacles for them to overcome. There's bigotry, discrimination, violence, especially in today's age, where I think that drag performances and being inclusive and open is often misunderstood by those that aren't a part of the community or a part of the allyship. Michigan City Pride reaches out to the community to showcase love, acceptance, safety, and all the beauty that the city has to offer. People travel, again, from all over the tri-state area and all over Northwest Indiana. Moreover, Michigan City Pride creates an economic boom for the city, not just for that day, but in the days and the years to come. People remember that this is a community of acceptance. This is a community of understanding, and they're safe here. Past and present committee members, including myself and many of those that I call friends, have included business owners who serve this community, health professionals who show compassion to all of our loved ones in the community, educators who mentor and teach the future of this community, police officers who protect and serve us, as well as many other impactful leaders that are making a mark on this world. These committee members know a secret that they want to share with others, which is that it gets better, and Michigan City is a place where you can find community. From the parents who tearfully express their appreciation for giving their child hope, to the older LGBTQ community members who are misty-eyed while they state that they finally feel recognized and supported in their community that they've been lifelong members of. The community members have heard numerous stories that would touch anyone's heart and make us understand that this is an important event. Michigan City Pride represents the members of this community who are proud to stand with us. And the decision that you have to make today is not just to host an event, but it's to give hope and to show everyone in the surrounding communities that we are a place of acceptance, understanding, and love. To the members of the board, your vote is going to send a message to the people of Michigan City. I urge you to send the message of inclusion and support. A vote against or abstaining your vote will send a clear message as well, but I do hope that you make the right decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Reilly, for your comments and insight. Any other public comments? Yes, there'll be time for everyone, so no worries. Yes, please.
My name is Martha Most. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And I just wanted to say my youngest son is gay. And he moved to Australia. He lives there. But when I told him, that we started a Pride Fest here, he was just so excited. He was so enthused. So I want you to know even people who used to live here, they're happy about this happening. And I agree with what Aaron said, that I sat at a picnic table and I talked to an elderly gentleman who he admitted to me that he was gay. He said he really hardly tells anybody in town that he's gay, but he was so happy to come to this event because he felt that this was something that he could come and enjoy, and he could feel, he knew that everybody in the event was accepting of, who he was. And I will tell you also that the drag queen show is just awesome. It's the kids love it. It's family friendly. There's nothing that happens in that drag show that I wouldn't bring my children when they were small or grandchildren to this event. It's a wonderful event. So I please hope that you can vote for this, continuing this wonderful event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other comments? Welcome.
Thank you. Corey Solar, 2816 Brentwood Way. Aaron hit on so many important points, I guess, of inclusivity. I just wanted to have a couple of different things. That the event that we have is subsidized, obviously. We're a not-for-profit organization by local businesses. These are the businesses, and it's not totally the full list of some of the businesses, but again, many of them you will recognize in the community that support this event, have supported us, and of course support Michigan City. And just a short list: Applegate and Associates Accounting, Fiddlehead Restaurant, Diversity Squared Consult, Unsalted No Sharks, Uptown Social, Good News Vintage, and then we have some larger sponsors as well. So more regional sponsors like Centier Bank, Horizon Bank, US Steel, and NIPSCO. The event's free to the public. Again, there is some economic impact So our sponsors provide us with the funds to put on this event. But then there is economic impact. And I just took a look today within 5 minutes at some numbers. If 250 people paid to get to Washington Park, we have 4,500 attendees. 3,000 of them just spent $10. They got gas, they got a sandwich, they bought a keychain, whatever they did. The economic impact for this event is almost $35,000 for a one-day event. So again, I hope that you consider it. I think that it's great for local business and it's great for the community.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other public comment? Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. My name is John Livelsberger. I live at 425 Dewey Street here in Michigan City. To be very honest with you, when I moved to Michigan City in 2003, it was a temporary situation. I was on a 2-year plan to save some money and move to Chicago. What I found here was my spouse. We bought a home and we have lived here since 2003. Will be our home 20 years in 2005. I've met some amazing friends, and the drag queens that I know extend pride all year round. During Christmas, they do Toys for Tots drive. They sponsor the Salvation Army. They give back to the community. I saw drag on TV growing up, whether it was Bugs Bunny or some of the older stars from vaudeville. Drag has always been part of our lives. This isn't anything that's new or disruptive or deviant. These are good people, or I wouldn't call them my friends. And the shows that they do every year, I was on the very first Pride Committee in 2018, are family friendly. And the look on the kids' faces and their parents, it's like they're seeing a superhero. You know, when I was growing up, I loved Wonder Woman. I still do. And that's what these kids are seeing. They're seeing these people who are dressed up and singing and doing powerful things and accepting of themselves, and they're welcoming other people to accept who they are. It took a lot of people from my generation. I didn't come out into my mid-20s, but it took a lot of people, a lot of strength to come out and admit who they are. And we picked this city to live in because of its diversity. And I welcome people here, and I tell people when I first moved here, they're like, why do you live in Michigan City? And I tell them, I'm proud to live here. So I ask you to please approve the permit, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay. Seeing none, unless there's any other board comment. Please.
Just hearing people speak, and there's something very important that comes out in the term diversity and inclusion. Diversity and inclusion is repeated over and over and over. Obviously, I'm an African-American male, and my race has fought for years and years for diversity and inclusion. And I feel the same way when it comes to these issues as well, the LGBT community. It's diversity and inclusion. You know, every man is created equal. And I believe in that wholeheartedly. And obviously, I don't have a vote, as you see how the votes turn out up here. But if I did have a vote, obviously, I would vote to support this event. I stopped by the event last year. It was a great time. And like I just said, if I had a chance to vote on this, obviously, I'd be voting in favor. But once again, diversity and inclusion. And I'll just give a short story. I'll try to be short with it. You know, where I work and the places I've worked in the past few years, we have these stickers that go onto our doorways that says ally. And that tells someone who may be gay or, you know, they have a place to come to talk to me, to be able to feel comfortable to come in and share their feelings with me. And when they put the sign up on the door, when I put the sign up on the door at the very beginning, I didn't think I'd have anybody. I really didn't think I'd have a lot of people showing up at the door. But when that ally sign went up there, I had a lot of people come in and talk to me. And so I really got great understanding of how people feel not to be included. And I can look back over time to see where African Americans were not included. And I'm wholeheartedly supporting including everyone. And that's why I would, like I said, I don't have a vote, but I would vote to support the event, obviously, because once again, it's about diversity and inclusion.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for sharing. Any other board comments or questions?
I just want to say one more thing that what I said earlier was about children. It had nothing to do with your event. As I said, I think your event is great. I mean, people love it and enjoy it. And it simply had to do with the drag show children combination. That is it. I love people too, and I would talk to anybody. So please don't think that I am excluding anybody in this situation. So it's just one aspect of it. That's all. Thank you.
I would extend the invitation to you to come and see the children.
Sure.
Actually, you see the show and see how.
Sure. I will do that. Mhm.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the Pride Fest 2023 event request?
I move that we approve the 2023 Pride Fest event.
All right. I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Next up is the Water Tower Park Restrictive Covenant.
Thank you. To remind the board, we are working on an all-inclusive playground at Water Tower Park. It is being funded by Community Development Block Grant funding, and it's being matched by Land and Water Conservation funding through the federal government. They do require what I refer to as a deed restriction or a restrictive covenant. In essence, what they're asking for is the property shall not be wholly or partially converted to other than public outdoor recreation uses without the approval of the Indiana Department of Natural Resources and the U.S. Department of the Interior. So if in fact in 20 or 30 years, the city decided to take that parcel for development or any other non-public recreation use, they would need to get approval through the federal government. This will be filed with the county clerk and stand on record.
Thank you for that explanation, Shannon. Any questions or comments from the board?
Maybe I missed the beginning of it, but I was a little confused at this. So it's already a park, right?
Yes, it's a park, but they want a restriction that, you know, they're giving us $250,000 that we don't use the money to rehabilitate the park. And then at some point in 10 or 20 years, the park board or the city decides to use it for something else.
Mhm.
So it has to stay public recreation.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't, it needs federal approval.
Got it. Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Well, I thought the presentation the gentleman made last week was very interesting, and some of the things that are going to be included, it's kind of exciting. I think it covers those who are young, those who are older, and those who have some infirmity, some wheelchair perhaps. Yeah, it was a nice presentation.
Thank you, Phil. I would agree. Any other board comments or questions? Any public comment or question? See none, do I have a motion to approve the Water Tower Park Restrictive Covenant?
I would move we accept the restricted covenant.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Right now we have the resolution number 1003 for the zoo transfer. And I'll read it. Resolution number 1003, whereas the superintendent of the Department of Parks and Recreation has reported that a certain transfer of funds are necessary within the budget of Michigan City Parks and Recreation because of unanticipated expenses from various accounts, which which do not have sufficient funds available for disbursement for said expenses, and whereas there are funds available for said expenses in various accounts which are not expected to be paid from said accounts during the remainder of this budget year, and whereas the Michigan City Park and Recreation Board has determined that said expenses are necessary and that an account transfer should be made in order to meet said expenses, now therefore be resolved that the following transfer be made from the following named accounts to the following named accounts for the purposes stated therein. Decrease fund 2204-504 zoo fund, postage $95, travel $570, and increase fund 2204-504 zoo fund, household supplies $665. Unless there are any questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve resolution number 1003?
I move we approve resolution 1003.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right. Next is the Healthcare of LaPorte grant application submission for Singing Sands Trail Phase 2.
Thank you. I did submit a letter of intent and was contacted and asked to submit a full grant application. To remind the board, this was a $250,000 request to offset what our city council matched to get all 3 phases of Singing Sands done. However, I did ask for a technical review of the grant application with healthcare staff, and they advised me that the grant funding is only good for about 12 months. So I would ask the board to approve submission of this, but not at this time. I'd like to hold it. There's another grant cycle in June, but most likely it would be once the first quarter of next year. I can't dictate the schedule of construction because NERC holds this contract.
Mhm.
So my schedule and the grant application is my best guess. So I just think it's prudent to put this one on hold, still get your permission to submit when the time comes. I think it's viable.
Thank you, Shannon. Any questions or comments?
I'm a bike rider and I rode the St. Sands Trail, what's completed, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Mhm. Are there any like numbers as far as like how many people have traveled it or averages or anything like that? I was just curious if
There aren't right now.
Yeah.
NERC got some grant funding in 2019 to put trail counters in. So
oh cool.
we ordered trail counters.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, we
Mhm.
never got them. I'm expecting to get those this spring.
Yeah.
So yeah, those would be very important for
Yeah.
us to assess users and, some long-term maintenance.
Mhm.
So we're still waiting.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool.
Shannon? Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to make it clear, this trail connects 3 states,
Yeah,
Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois.
correct.
Yeah.
And Shannon, your experience in grants is evident here when you submit the initial
Yeah.
letter and then even going through the technical review so that we don't get caught in a bind. So just, we're grateful for your experience and your willingness to roll up your sleeves and look into the details and go after these grants.
And to use your own private plane to take these pictures, right? These aerial pictures. All right.
That's great.
Yes.
It's hard to explain the trail, but like 4 photographs sums up.
Cool. You get that from like satellite or where do you get these?
They were done with a drone,
Yeah, cool.
very high flying. drone.
Yeah, it's very high. Wow. Who took those?
Butler, Fairman, and Seifert, they're our consulting.
Oh, okay.
firm.
Cool.
Any other board questions or comments? Any public question or comment? What's the pleasure of the board?
I would move that we, excuse me, accept this healthcare report application submission for Singing Sands Trail Phase 3.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, now we have the Healthcare of LaPorte grant application submission for Fetters Alley Playground.
So as the board knows, we're working on an all-inclusive playground and fitness park in Fetters Alley. the city council did give us ARPA funding in the amount of $250,000 for design and engineering. That is underway right now. We have some public meetings coming up. The next one will be April 11th here at City Hall at 5:30 p.m. And we'll be presenting some schematic designs. So now we are going into the fundraising portion of the project. Our fundraising goal initially was 2 million. I really think it's going to jump up closer to 4 million. And that's based on the cost that we're getting from Water Tower Park, which is a smaller version of Better's Alley. So this would be the first grant that I would like to submit. Again, I did get technical review by Healthcare Funds staff. They have asked me to do a presentation on this project at one of their board meetings on March 13th. The grant is due by midnight on March 3rd, so I would ask for your approval to submit.
Thank you, Shannon. Questions or comments from the board?
The only regret that I got to enjoy it in the 70s. Now I can look at it. Unfortunately, I think it's great.
We're putting in a senior fitness center.
There you go, no excuses.
Hope I can still participate.
And I should have mentioned, I apologize, the grant ask is for $750,000.
Any other board questions or comments? Any public questions or comments? We have a motion to approve the healthcare LaPorte grant application submission for Better's Alley.
I would so move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Any other new business?
No, sir.
Good luck on the 13th, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next is the superintendent's report. Mr. Ship.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford. This evening, I would like to mention the old Lighthouse Museum, park maintenance, splash pad, the zoo, senior center, and golf and vandalism. On Friday, March 3rd, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Michigan City's Old Lighthouse Museum, 100 Heisman Harbor Road, will be open and free to the public. In 2023, it's the 50-year reunion of being open as a museum. They will be celebrating the old lighthouse and the volunteers who have given of themselves for so many years to preserve our history. So join everyone at the museum on March 3rd, the opening event, and help them to start a very special year with a bang. I hope it's well attended. Park maintenance, the park maintenance staff has been busy removing sand from the boardwalk to the pier. Mr. Volz has been conducting employee evaluations. On the warmer days, Patriot Park Concession has been receiving an interior paint job. The reinstallation of a beach rules sign at California Ave. Painting of the steel stair risers and railings at North Point Pavilion. The staff is also completing equipment maintenance for the winter season and maintenance of holiday light units as they are removed from Washington Park. New system this year, the light units are removed a little bit slower, but as they are removed, they are repaired in the shop as they are stored away. Splash pad news. The contractor Gasvoda is waiting for an upsized 3-inch water meter. Michigan City Water Department will be providing an upsized meter that would be a 3-inch meter. Major demo on this project of converting the splash pad to fresh water is 97% complete. The existing pumps, filters, and associated piping have been removed from the building. Gasvoda has all the equipment, all the piping from the old system, and will test it and return it to us to keep if anyone ever decides to go with the chemical system. Gasvoda will finish all the piping, get everything set. They will have time to put the new water meter in. The lead time is 90 days, but that might be an overestimation. The target date for the splash pad opening is Memorial Day. They will continue their work the week of the 13th of March. It'll be approximately 1 week of work. And the demo was completed quicker than expected. So we're looking forward to a nice splash pad this spring.
Awesome.
The zoo, the emergency roof repair over the Discovery Building was completed today. From my inspection, J&B West did a fine job with the demo reinstallation of the new roof sheeting, shingles, and flashing. They went over and beyond the scope of work by adding a diversion piece of flashing to prevent the outgoing water from splashing onto the new shingles, and remove tree branches from the roof where they were working. The Big Cat exhibit is 99% complete. There is 30 foot of secondary fencing to be installed. It is being powder coated today. That will be installed next week. The seal coating application on the glulam arched beams will be completed as soon as we reach 45-degree temperatures consistently. Areas to be fine graded and seeded are being addressed this week, and the Shot Creek contractor is in the process of final touch-up. The entire project will be complete by April 1st on opening day. Also, Holiday Construction, the contractor of the Big Cat exhibit, will be sending out volunteers to work a full day at the zoo on March 8th. Holiday Construction has done a very nice job with that Big Cat exhibit. I'm sure everyone will agree. The senior center, regarding the office relocation, the new flooring, and the interior paint project, the architect's method was to divide each of those project phases into separate contracts. It is not allowed according to the State Board of Accounts, so I'm now in the process of combining these phases into one contract, and then I will proceed with the formal bid process. Golf maintenance, as well as park maintenance, the golf staff has accomplished a large number of maintenance items, many of which I haven't even mentioned. Golf maintenance have equally tackled an enormous number of work items. I visit their workshop and I'm amazed at the number of pieces of turf maintenance equipment that they disassemble and recondition for the next year. John, Paul, and Michael, you are an unbelievable team of mechanics. Also in golf, I would like to mention that the hired golf manager that we discussed at our last meeting did not work out. I would like to introduce to you during public comment this evening, Mr. Martin Neiman, who will take on the golf manager position with a personable and professional attitude. And like I said, I will introduce him at the public comment. And I'd also like to thank our IT department and personnel department for expediting this position move. In vandalism, Oak Hills continues to suffer from ATV two-tracking throughout the park. Pullman Park and Adams Park was found to have graffiti sprayed on the bathrooms and playground equipment. And this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Questions or comments for the superintendent?
I'd like to ask the superintendent to look into Sunday overtime hourly. And also incentives for seasonal employees who make it through the season. See if that's feasible, see if it's fiscally responsible. Contact other department heads to see if they offer overtime on the week, on Sundays. And see if we could get more people to work in the parking area specifically or other areas. We have more of an incentive to work on the Sunday.
Very good.
Would that be a special Sunday pay or would that be over 40 hours and then they work Sunday too?
My idea would be Sunday time and a half.
Sunday is a special pay. Okay.
After
So
40.
Sundays and,
Yeah. Are you saying after 40 hours or, well, you got to pay time and a half anyway. You're just saying just for even if you only work Sundays, you would get paid time and a half of the rate.
that's what I'm proposing.
Got it. No, I just want to understand. Yeah. Okay.
I will surely look at that, Mr. Glidden.
Any other questions or comments for the superintendent? All right, so we'll move on to liaison reports. The Plan Commission did not have a meeting since our last meeting. Port Authority, Mr. Freeze.
Well, I was sick and you probably think I still am, but anyhow, I couldn't attend the meeting.
All right, thank you. And the Zoological Society, Mr. Glidden.
The Zoological Society met February 21st. They discussed brew at the zoo they planned to have on Saturday, June 3rd. They discussed the Sunday, July 9th, a 5K run, 9 a.m. And they're going to come to the board and ask for a waiving of parking fee on those events. They discussed a fundraiser on July 22nd, a cruise, a sunset cruise on a boat on the lake. They discussed starting their own website. They talked about a scholarship for a vet ed program. And they discussed their problems with PayPal, the fees, and problems they're having. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Glidden. Ms. Nuremberg.
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any director's reports tonight?
No, sir.
All right, that takes us to Department of Finances and back to Mr. Glidden.
We're gonna do separate motions on these. Gifts and donations, Kroger, Zoo Donation Give Back Program, $89.54. I move that we make that, I put that in the form of a motion, accept that.
Second.
Okay, I'm confused because I'm looking at the
Right.
gifts and donation report.
Now, on the wrong page,
This is just the templates, the little financial report. So you want to start with city claims? And motion on that. Next is.
all right. Sorry, I apologize. Michigan City Park Department claims docket for March 1st, 2023 municipal, $93,920.52. Total claims, $93,920.52. I'd like to make the motion that we accept the claims docket for March 1st, 2023.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Total payroll number 4, 2023, 2005-23 to 2/18-23, pay date 2/24-23. Total payroll $61,257.79. And would like to move that we pay the people that need to be paid.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And thank you.
We're going area by area here, right?
Gifts and donations.
Gifts and donations. Apex Auto, youth baseball sponsors, $350. Frontier Lawn Recreation, baseball sponsor, $350. DeVry Tire, baseball sponsor, $350. Jimmy John's, baseball sponsorship, $350. Moore's Auto Repair, $350. Weber Family Dentistry, $350. Arby's, $350. Captain Ed's Furniture, $350. Dan's Landscaping, $350, all for youth baseball sponsorships. I move that we accept those gifts and donations.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Minor transfers, decrease account for zoo food, $420. Increase account for household supplies, $428. I move that we make those minor transfers.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Board of Works invoices totaling $57,776.44 were paid at the February 21st Board of Works meeting. 2, the Hitchcock Design Group, engineering for Destination Playground, $4,421.44. Castle Lincoln Ford for an F-250 pickup truck, $53,355. I move that we accept those fees.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Minor transfers from the zoo fund. Decrease the account for zoo food, $428.
We
Gotta
already
repeat?
voted on that one, Mr. Glidden.
Pardon me?
You already voted on that one.
What's left? I guess.
No credit card charge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Glidden. Any comments from the public tonight? Welcome.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Jacob Hill, 108 California, and I've addressed this district last year at the end of the summer, and I just thought it was a good time to circle around. I had spoken with Superintendent Shin earlier last week about a missing sign at the end of our block that referred to prohibited items on the beach. And specifically, I think I was speaking to Pets on the Beach at this time last summer, and you were very kind in keeping us informed of all the challenges that are part of enforcing a no pets policy on the beach. And that being said, well, I love pets, and I had pets before in the past. I just wanted to bring that back to the board's attention here, that's an issue where we understand what the code says regarding pets on the beach. And speaking as residents that enjoy the beach during the summer, we just wanted to hope we can get the city and parks assistance in not being placed in an enforcement role with regards to pets on the beach and all the attendant, safety, liability, health issues that might go along with that. Again, there are many occasions where we've seen a pet on the beach and it hasn't been an issue, but when you have multiple pets, especially some not on leashes, that's where we see more concern. And we're hoping, again, that the city and park can do something to help us address that issue this coming summer, whether that's additional enforcement, additional signage, or other creative ideas that might be deployed to help the residents when those issues crop up, as they invariably do. So thank you very much for your continued attention on this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Any other public comment tonight? Seeing none, board comments?
In reference to Mr. Hill, I agree with you. I'm a pet lover, had a dog all my life. We have these service dogs, which I understand, but I think the people who have service dogs, I went through the laws for the state of Indiana, and they think that they have carte blanche because it's a service dog. First of all, you can't let your grandkid run around with the dog unless they're 18 or over. That's one thing I see a big violation. And I'm with you. I hope there's somehow we can corral some of this action by people who have service dogs. Maybe the dog is smarter than some of these people.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, seeing none, our next meet.
May I introduce?
Certainly.
Thank you. Come on up, Martin Neiman. Ladies and gentlemen, the new golf manager for the Michigan City Municipal Golf Course, Marty Neiman.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm Marty Neiman, 3137 North 50 West.
Marty scored very high in his interview, and I have the feeling that he is eager, very professional, and very personable. And I think we'll all be happy that he is on board.
Looking forward to a great summer up there.
Thank you. I think it's going to be. So.
Well, and welcome. Don't be afraid to reach out if you ever need anything or questions or comments.
I've been doing that already, and things are also moving along very well already. We're be ready soon to open up towards the end of March, and I think we're going to have a great summer. I think it's going to be a profitable one. So I think we're going to have a really great year this year.
Excellent.
So
we want to do whatever we can to help you succeed.
I appreciate that.
You succeed, the golfers will be happy, revenue will be good.
Yeah. Nope, it's going to be a very good year. Thank you, Mr. Shin.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, unless there are any other comments, our next meeting is Wednesday, March 15th, 5 o'clock right here. Motion to adjourn.
So move.